have Avinash Anand Singh with us, who's going to speak about converting human perceived disability into infinite ability to create an infinitely abled world, an able call for action, by Avinash Anand Singh.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm namaste to all of you. Very rightly pointed out Jerry in the morning, namaste, a very divine thing from our own wisdom, own culture. We have forgotten that. But it's not only about, when you say namaste, it's not only about seeing the divinity in the person. There's more meaning to it. No, the exact way of that, you put the hand like this and then say namaste. What is the science behind it? When you put the hand like this on the heart, there's a heart energy center here, which gets activated. And from your heart, it becomes big, and a lot of love and peace energy goes off. And when you bow the head like this, the crown center we have here, the crown energy center we have here, through which, again, a lot of divine energy which comes out, which goes to the other person out. So it's not only saying namaste for a mechanical purpose. Do it peace, do it with a lot of love. You see how much peace you feel. First. Second is, namaste is not also about only saying namaste. When from the morning, right from the day we got the invite from the foundation here, we had Colonel Datta sending us continuous mail. You have seen the follow-ups, every time for everything. We had Meenu calling up every time for all the things to be done, Hunar, and Jerry. And in all this thing we are doing right now, they are completely forgotten. We have never thought about it, who has organized this function out. Namaste also means recognizing the effort these people have put in. Selfless effort. He's standing and from morning, somebody in the morning wrote a letter to the Prime Minister. I said, for me, he's the Prime Minister, give the letter to him. And let us vote for him to become a Prime Minister, probably. Jerry, in fact. So my thing would, can you give a big round of applause for these guys? All these back people out, the team behind. And not only for them, for the cameramen, camera guys, they're standing from the morning. Understand, no amount of money can compensate the pain they're going through standing. The food vendor, who was serving the food outside. And while eating, do we realize that the food came from the farmer who in the summer and the winter was sowing the seeds and all? No, this hall, who has made this hall? Namaste also means recognizing the efforts all people have put off. Not only which is visible, which is invisible as well. So I think the last clap we had was not at all worth for these guys. Can you give a big round of applause? Big, let the voice rock this all. Thanks a lot. I am not a very well qualified or accomplished person as of now. Might be one day. All the people who have come in here are far greater than what they have done out probably. But whatever small I have gone through in my life, in my journey, I'll try to share out this thing. I come from a very small place in Jharkhand, Bokaro city, and I was a very average guy throughout my life. 50, 55, 60% marks. And throughout my life, whenever I got a 50, 60% marks, my sister was a topper in the class, around 85, 90%. I always used to hear, look at your sister, she's a topper, and what you are, average. You'll fail in the exam, you'll fail in life. So all these thoughts throughout kept on being to my ears throughout my life. And throughout my life, I kept on believing I'm a very average guy, born for good for nothing. And probably, some people who are genius, who got very high marks, are some chosen few souls probably. That was the thought process we had. And this happened till class 10, class 11, class 12. But very fortunately, I kept on asking myself, what was exactly, who am I probably? What is my role here? What is my purpose here? This question always keep on knocking into my ears. And then for my graduation, I came to Pune. I did my graduation from Pune. 3 years was complete time pass, did nothing, all disc and bars in Pune, that's it. No graduation, no study happens in graduation. And after my graduation, I went for a college called Sadhana Center for Management and Leadership Development, SCMLD, where I was so fortunate I took that call of going to that college, which was a complete life-changing experience, which was it's a Gurukulam in Pune, wherein real education happens out. And that 2 years was a complete turning point of my life. From nowhere, I became the best of the batch. I got a lakh rupees cash prize. I got 10 to offers in my hand. And that was a turning point I had. And then further, after getting my 2-year MBA, I joined back the college itself. And I was working with the kids over here. The whole idea was, the question I set in myself, the question I was asking to myself, that my life I'll dedicate in understanding what are the powers we are born with. As a human being, we are not a collection of body, flesh, and mass. We are more than that. So what are the powers we are born with? And that's how I just started a company 3 months back in training and skill development. I'll tell you more about it. Now, what happens exactly? So I went through the process of asking what happens. When a baby is born, understand, when a baby is born, it's not a mechanical mobile we are making up. A baby is a divine, understand the whole process. 2 person meets out, something happens, and a small baby, 9 months, get conceptualized in the stomach of a mother. And the baby comes out. And that baby has a unique fingerprint, has a unique eye impression, which no 2 person can have same in the world, in fact. And this baby, when he grew up, a human brain has 100 billion neurons in the brain. 100 billion neurons connection. And suppose if we are out to take these neurons outside and probably stretch it, can anybody guess how long it would be? If you take the neurons outside and make a long wire, how long it would be? Give a wild guess. Sorry, ma'am? We can round the earth 4 times. Those neurons connections, we can round the planet earth 4 times. That's the power given to us. And we use hardly 3 to 4% out. What has happened? The baby was born genius. The Ram Kumar, the rapist, he was not born a rapist. He was a born genius. But while growing up, we kept on feeding his mind. With what he saw, with what he heard, we kept on feeding it. It's like a Ferrari. Suppose take a Ferrari right now. I'll give you a Ferrari Enzo. And every day put garbage in it. After 20 years down the line, you'll have a Ferrari with a garbage. Same what we have become today, in fact. Every individual has born with that infinite potential inside them. And it's not only in terms of theory, in fact. A lot of, what we do as a company is, we do a lot of scientific stuff, scientific research, in fact, what exactly the new scientific brain stuff coming up, the whole science of quantum physics, metaphysics probably, and probably we go to understand a lot of spiritual dimension. Because the science can only give you understanding of the body, mind, and personality. But we are not that. We are the soul. And the soul will only come from the ancient wisdom we have in India. What Gautam Buddha said. You know, Gautam Buddha, if somebody has gone through Vipassana, will come to know that in a second, in our body, we are 1 trillion cell. We are not one body. 1 trillion cell. And each and every cell is alive. And has its own reproductive and digestive system. Every cell has its own consciousness. That's why you take a cell from here and you can test and check it what disease the whole body has it probably. You take a blood sample from here and that blood sample will tell you what disease the body has it probably. And Gautam Buddha said that in a second we have 10 to the power 22 zeros. That's the amount of cell is taking birth and dying in 1 second in our body. And the same figure was also researched by a scientist in US. He got a Nobel Prize in 2008 probably. I forgot the name, in fact, for this guy. But Gautam Buddha got enlightened. And this scientist became a miserable. He was out to commit suicide as well. This fellow got the Nobel Prize. So the value of Indian wisdom we have completely forgotten it probably. Now, so what we're trying to do is that a child is born, we are filling this child with a lot of garbage in terms of all the beliefs he has formed up. So today when you go to companies, we go to meet a lot of companies and we come to know, they say 80% people unemployable. I ask them a question, say, is the individual unemployable or it's a behavior? We say unemployability is a behavior only. When you're not trying to do certain things probably. But the behavior is not the person. Individual has behaviors. Individual is not the behavior. And what we do is that we are trying to work with behaviors to change the behaviors, which will never happen. Because to change the effect, you have to work with the cause. And the cause is the deep-rooted subconscious belief which has been formed. And the process, what has happened, we have continuously fed this belief system with a lot of limiting beliefs probably. And the biggest role, I'm very sorry to say, but the biggest role somebody has played in killing the child of his talents and genius is the parents, unknowingly. Our own father and mother, in fact. Unknowingly, we keep on programming our child. Today's research shows that. So whole idea is that today when we go and judge somebody, when we go and probably see somebody and judge it, today science says, moment I have an opinion about maybe him, only in the mind. That opinion affects the physical behavior of this guy. Today science proves it, in fact. Energy science, go and research the domain of pranic healing probably. You'll get to know about this. Now, My time is over, what? Okay, just last couple of stories I'll share and I'll finish it out. Now, what happens out? Two things happens out because of this, that we have been fed consciousness from our childhood. A very nice story by Gautam Buddha. One couple of reasons why we fail in life, why we fail big time in life. Two stories I'll share probably. One is, what's happened once probably, two monks took a diksha from Gautam Buddha, and Gautam Buddha said, go to the mountains and meditate now, your journey is over. And they said, only take care of two things. Don't touch a girl on the way and don't kill somebody. The two things, two warnings he gave to him, two monks in fact. And they're going to the mountains and they had to cross a river now. They saw a small child, a small baby girl, maybe 10 years old, was trying to cross the river and she was not able to cross. So one monk, what he did was, he carried the girl and helped her cross the river. And both the guys then came out of the river and they started walking again. And after several kilometers, the other monk said to the first monk who carried the girl that you did wrong. He said, what? You carried the girl. Buddha said, don't carry the girl. Don't touch the girl. The first monk said, I carried the girl and dropped her. You are still carrying. You are still carrying her. Same what we have done. From a childhood, a small experiences, bad, good, we have been keep on carrying here. And those experiences today, if you see the research of Louise Hay, those past, those emotional hurt we have that manifests as physical disease, arthritis, diabetes, everything has the origin in the emotional probably. And the last story I want to share is of ego. It's of ego. Why we are not able to go ahead. We are not a human being. We are a spiritual being into human sphere. Human life probably. Gautama, you are so intelligent. Give me some enlightenment. Gautama Buddha said, come tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at my house. And morning 10 o'clock, this guy turned up and he knocked the door. Buddha didn't open the door. He knocked for 2 hours, he didn't open. This guy, bit of anger, he went back. Again, next day came out. Again, knocked the door for 3 hours, didn't open the door. And this was completely frustrated. He started abusing Buddha. What is this? What do you think of yourself? You're so arrogant and all. And then Buddha finally opened the door. This fellow came inside. And Buddha said, there's a cup kept there. And Buddha said, take the bucket of water and fill the cup. And the guy took the jug of water and filled the cup, and the cup got filled. And this guy stopped. Buddha said, no, keep on filling. He said, are you mad? He said, keep on filling. And he kept on filling. And the whole bucket, he said, keep on filling the cup with a whole bucket of water. And the whole water was on the ground, in fact. And the guy said, Buddha, are you mad? Can you see the cup is already filled? Then Gautama Buddha said, exactly the same issue. You are so filled inside with the knowing, with the I part. I know everything. With the ego. Until that ego is not taken out. The superficial ego, which is not us, which is the negative quality we carry, until that will not go out, the light will never enter probably. So my only point is, understand, tomorrow when you see somebody, it's not a human being. It's a spiritual being with the same divinity which is in you, in that person as well. Don't judge, don't criticize, respect individuals. Everybody has the same infinite potential to become great as somebody else can be probably. Thanks a lot, my pleasure.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you so much. Okay, do we have any questions? We'll just take 2 questions, yeah, and then we'll break for tea. 2 questions. Any questions for Avinash? Sure.
So 5 years ago, I'd gone to speak at his institute, and he was younger than he is now. And he came up to me later and he said, ma'am, I want to become a motivational speaker. And can I work with you? And he was so young that I was like, I thought about him and I said, how do I help him? Where do I push him? And where do I put him in place to see where, because I was working with a lot of corporates and I think he won't work in corporates. Can I send him to a school? Can I send him to some other place? And I thought about him and then again, I think we lost touch. He had sent me an email and then after that, we sort of forgot about it. He joined me on Facebook recently. And today, Avinash, let me tell you this. When you talk about infinite potential, you did not need me at all. You just came out of it on your own. You did not need my help. Today, what you did over here was absolutely beyond my this thing. I was smiling away over there. I said, this one wanted to be a motivational speaker then, and you don't need help from anybody. So we do not need help from anybody. We have to have it from within. Once we have it,
So
I think this
thankful.
is the result over here.
So thankful.
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Mehul ji.